What's up guys, the Codeholic is here and welcome to the 7th part of building an MVC framework using PHP. In this part, we're going to improve the form rendering system. We're going to come up to text area field class for rendering, and we're going to also create a view component and give the title to every page very easily. Now, we need to do a few more things. First of all, if you just have a look at the title, it says Hello World, and that comes from the layout. If we just go to the views, layouts, main PHP, scroll at the top, right here we have this Hello World. Of course, every page needs its own unique title. That's why we need to work on this. So I have an idea that right here, I'm just going to write PHP echo this title. But what is this? So if we just go to the router PHP and find the place where we render view, this is the place, and render only view, let's have a look right here. So this basically corresponds to the router because that PHP file, the layout PHP file or the view PHP file, is rendered inside the router PHP class. Okay, so if I just try to access this title and just have a look in the browser, probably I will see an error. Look at this, and if we just view the page source, undefined property router title in this area. So if we just go to the router, scroll at the top, and add right here title attribute, then go to the auth controller, for example, not the middleware but auth controller, and on the profile I just call application app router title corresponds to profile. This will work. So I set the title on this action, then I get the title in the layout, so this should work. But I think router is not the perfect place for this. And in a real frameworks, maybe you need also to have not only title, but the meta tags and meta description and some other things for that specific page. And router is not the perfect place for this. So I have an idea that, I don't know if that's 100% the best solution, but I think that we should create a view component, view class, and the view class will have this title, and by default it can be an empty string, and all view renderings should happen inside the view class, so that in the main PHP layout, whenever we decide to use this to correspond to the view class instance. Okay, so let's go to the router PHP, scroll down, find the rendering places, render content, render layout, and let's just copy all these methods, 4 methods, and do we have 4? Yeah, and let's move all of them into view. Okay, so we can now do the following. We can find all the usages of these methods and change and call from the view, or we can leave all these methods but just change the body in the following way: return application app view, and we need to create an instance of the view in the application as well, which I forgot. So let's go to the application, add right here view, which is an instance of view. And down below, I'm going to create, maybe right here, I'm going to create an instance of the view. So this view is new view. And let's go back to router. And right here, I can call view render view. And I just pass the view and params. Okay. And I can do the same thing on all the methods right here. So let me copy this and paste right here, or maybe we can even replace. So let's just find all the places we are using this. So this render view, I'm going to right click on this and find usages, and it finds the following places. So inside application, okay, that happens in the catch statement. Okay, we have in the controller and in the router. So this is on a few places, so we can just replace this. So instead of rendering this from router, I'm going to render it from view. The same thing will happen right here when we render from controller. This will be view, render view, and right here also this refers to the router, so we just need to change this application app view render view. So we can now completely remove this render view method from the router PHP. Let's find render content, which I think is not used, and I'm right. Let's find this layout content. I think this is not also used. Okay, so we can even delete this, and we have render only view, which is not also used. Okay, perfect. So we don't need these methods anymore, and everything should work right now as it was working before. So let's just refresh the page and navigate, and here we have it. So every page works fine. Now let's go to this auth controller and just do the following. So we can't access view through this. So we either need to create a reference in the controller on the view, or we just need to call application app view equals whatever is this, or maybe we just need to go to the profile PHP right here and just access this title equals profile. So we know that now this corresponds to the view instance, and I can access it and set the title. Let's have a look in the browser. Okay, it doesn't work. View page source, the title is empty. Okay, let's go to the layout main PHP, and okay, so we set the title, we get the title, so this should work. Let's just dump what is this right here. Refresh, and that corresponds to view, which doesn't have title. So that's strange. So let's open now this view class and have a look. So when render view is called, first it calls this render only view. No, first it renders layout. This is the thing. And when the layout is rendered, the view title doesn't exist. Okay? Only after this the view is rendered, and whenever the view is rendered, the title is set. So we should change the ordering. Let's first render the view, which means that first this code will be executed, and only after this render main PHP. Then this code will be executed and the title will already exist. Okay? So render only view, render layout. So this should already work. Let's have a look. And I see profile right here. Refresh it, and here we have. So we set the title, and we can go through all the pages right now and set the title. Just for example, right here, I'm gonna do this for contact only, and that's it. So this, and one more important thing in a real projects. So I cannot use this right here. No, it's not correct. I can use this, but the PHP Storm doesn't autocomplete this for me. So, and whenever I want to search the usages or instances of the view, this area won't be found. So the best practice will be to create right here in doc block, for example, variable this is an instance of a view, app core view. And now I can the PHP Storm autocompletes this. And now I can see the methods of the view, and I can see the title and just set it to contact. Okay, let's have a look. Here we have it, and I just need to copy and paste this in the profile as well. Okay, and here we have it. So this looks fine, and I think, yeah, everything looks good. Now I want to do one more thing in form rendering. So if I just open the contact, how is this rendered? Let's go to the contact PHP. Contact PHP. So this is actually a plain HTML form. It's not the form widget we just created. Okay, so let me create this one as well. So I just want to show you a couple of things and maybe update this form field and form as well. So let me create in the models. Let's go in the models, and I'm going to create right here contact form. Okay, that extends model, and it has one method for rules, and I'm gonna add the properties. String will be string subject will be by default an empty string. Duplicate this 2 times. We have subject, email, and body, so this should be email and this should be body. Okay, in the rules I'm going to make all of them required. Okay, so subject is self-required. Duplicate this 2 times. This is email and this is body. Okay, all of them are required, and we can even add the labels so that we have a user-friendly text. Subject corresponds to enter your subject, for example. Duplicate this 2 times. Email will be your email, and body will be just body. Okay, so refresh the page. It won't work, of course, because we need to use that contact form. Let's go to the views, contact, and right here I'm going to use form equals form begin. I'm going to specify slash and obviously post. Okay, and then I'm going to use PHP echo form field. We don't have the model right here, so let's go to the site controller, find the contact right here, and I'm just going to create contact is new contact form. So if the request is post, so let's get the request right here. If the request is post, we just load the data, and the data is request get body. Then we call contact validate and contact send, for example, which doesn't exist. If everything happened, we just return with, let's use right here response as well. Response redirect to the home page, or we can even redirect to the contact page. Let it be contact. Okay, fine. We can set the flash data even. Application app session set flash, that should be on success key. We just set thanks for contacting us, and we will get back to you soon, or something like this. I'm not gonna write the full text. Okay, so we do this. We don't want this handle contact, so I'm gonna remove this. So let's go to the public folder index.php, and this handle contact, I'm gonna change this to contact so that post comes to the same action. Then open just contact.php, and from the site controller we just need to pass this model corresponds to contact, and we get the model right here in this contact. So I'm gonna duplicate this and specify that the model is an instance of contact form. Fine, now I specify model right here and subject. Duplicate this 2 more times. This will be email and this will be body. So, and at the end I'm gonna call form end, just like this. So let me delete all the things down below. Okay, I think we need the button, so let's just leave the button for now. Here we have it. So let's just delete all the other things and open the contact page, and here we have it. Enter your subject, your email and body. And if I just submit this, all of them are required. That's why it makes everything is red. And if I just submit everything, I have an error right here because the send method doesn't exist. So let's open the contact form and create that send. I'm not gonna implement this. I'm just gonna return true for now. So if I refresh this, I see this, thanks for contacting us, we will get back to you soon, which is hidden. Okay, so the main thing right here is that we need the body to be text area. It should not be this single line input. Okay, and we don't have the text area support yet inside the core. So we have just field and form, and inside the field we have a couple of types: text, password and number. But text area is none of them, and we cannot just add new type text area because this type is used down below inside the input. Okay, so I'm going to create right now one class which will be base field. Okay, and that base field, the field obviously extends the base field. Let's first do this. Base field, and the base field will be an abstract class, and it will have abstract public function render input. Okay, that render input should return a string, and that should be either text area or input or select or anything. Okay, and now in our field we have to implement this render field. Alt enter, add method stubs, hit the enter once again, and down below we have this render input. So because this is the field class, I can do just like this. So I'm gonna take out this line. Okay, so here we have four variables: type, name, value and form control. So I'm gonna take out this, move down below and return printf, paste this right here and specify these four variables which needs. So I'm going to take out these four variables, and right here we now have two variables. Actually, no, we just need to take, so this is the label, and right here we need one more variable for the input. Okay, and we have three variables, and we need to take attribute, the value has error, just like this, and maybe type as well. And we just need to write here the label, then we need render input, so which will be an actual input, and it will be displayed right here, and then we have the first error which will be displayed right here. Okay, let's go to the render input. I'm going to paste this. We have the type, we have the name, we have the value, and if there is an error or not. So this should already work as it was working before, but let's make a couple of more changes right here. So this toString method basically can be part of the base field. So I'm going to copy and move it inside the base field. Okay, this is how every field should be generated, no matter it's a text area or select or anything. So this is the label, this is the input field area, and this is the invalid feedback. Okay, looks good. Scroll up, and in the constructor, every field basically needs the module and attribute. So I'm going to copy the whole constructor and paste inside the base field. I'm going to also copy the model and attribute and paste inside the base field and just apply the code formatting. And I'm going to remove the type right here. So this is the base field. I'm going to change this into use. Okay, and down below I'm going to remove these two lines and just call parent constructor, pass the model and the attribute. Okay, so our field is much smaller at the moment, so we only have a couple of methods and the render input. So all of them basically is specific to the field, and this field basically means that this is an input field, so with the input tag. So I'm going to refactor this as well. So right click, find usages, and let's just check, and it's used only one place. So I'm gonna hit refactor rename F2 on my keyboard, and it will be input field. Okay, so hit OK, and this one was also changed, and this everything right now looks good right here. I'm not gonna do anything else. Let's just change this into use, and here we have it. So when I do the following things, Alt Enter and remove unnecessary qualifier, and it just uses the namespace right here. Okay, so this is the base field, and now I can already create a new field which will be text area field. Okay, this must extend from base field, and thus it needs to implement the render input. But from the render input, I'm going to return the following thing. So that will be text area. Okay, we need to pass a couple of arguments, so let's just specify. So first we need to specify the name. Let's actually specify in the same order the input field has. So what we have, type, we don't have type for text area, name, value, and error. Okay, let's just specify name %s, value will be inside the text area. Okay, and class form control and %s. Okay, now down below I can specify this attribute. This is the name. I'm going to specify the error, which will be the following thing. Okay, and I'm going to specify the value, which will be the following thing. Okay, format the code, and now if I just go to the contact PHP, instead of calling form field, which creates an instance of the input field, I can directly output new text area field, specify the model and attribute name. Okay, and I'm going to change this with the use also, so it will be used right here. And let's actually have these comments together down below, use and title. Let's have a look now in the browser, refresh it, and here is the text area. Okay, so we just changed it. Using this approach, if you just want to create some custom input in your project, you just need to extend the base field and you can create this in your project. If there are some, of course we have to implement some other things like select or radio or checkbox, but I'm not going to spend time on these things, so but feel free to do those. So if you want to have practice, I think this is the one of the best thing to practice. So extend the framework, add a couple of more things, create some basic projects with the framework, and so on. Okay, so this is a very important thing to have also in the project. And what else do we need to do? So I think we can already start thinking about moving the core and make it installable. Okay, so before I do this, let's observe it. So maybe we can group a couple of classes together because we have a lot of classes in the same folder. So let's create maybe a DB namespace right here and just move the database and DB module inside it. What else do we have connected to the DB? Maybe user module, but that's not directly connected to the DB. That extends the DB module, so let it be here. Session, router, response request, module, controller, application, view, everything are the base classes. We have middlewares, exceptions, form, and DB. Looks very good. However, if we move the database and DB module, we have to adjust a couple of things. So first of all, we need to change the namespace. It will be AppCore DB now on, and for DB module as well, DB. And we're gonna have errors. So First of all, we have to import other classes like model, for example. Previously, DB model and model were in the same namespace. That's why we didn't need to import the model. But now we need Alt enter, enter once again. Here we have model. What else do we need? Maybe we need to import the application as well, right here. Okay, Alt enter, enter once again, and the application was imported. Let's go to the database, scroll down. What do we need here? Application, Alt enter, enter once again, scroll down, and I think everything looks good right now. Let's refresh the page. No, it doesn't look good. That error comes from the application PHP. Let's open application PHP. Oops. Application PHP. Let's search for the database, Alt enter, and just import this. Refresh it. DB model, that comes from the user model. So let's open user model and import the DB model. What else? Application user must be an instance of DB model or null app models user used. Okay, so let's go to the application. And right here, we need to import DB model as well. Actually, we need to change this, and that should be user model, because this is how we decide it, right? So we use the user class, and the user class must be a child class of the user model, okay? Because this is the abstract class. And down below in the method to log in right here, we just need to change this into user model as well. Okay. Have a look in the browser. Okay, we don't have any more errors. We can navigate, we can go to the profile, we can log out, we can log in, I hope. Okay, here we have it. So everything works fine. We have moved the database and DB model, and now we can start working on to make this core installable, so that if we have more than one project and we update the core, we can easily update it in another project using just composer require.